Brilliant. And that leads very nicely on to our next speaker from Informatica. Jerome Couzy is a data governance and privacy domain expert with Informatica. With more than 10 years experience in the analytical world, Jerome is helping companies leverage the value of their data. Jerome will share how the Informatica Intelligent Data Management Platform can help enterprises accelerate their digital transformation by using understood, trusted, and governed data. Jerome, over to you.
Thanks very much for the intro, Greg. Hi, everybody. Very happy to be here with you remotely. So I don't want to talk about technology specifically. I want to talk about data in general. And I want to talk specifically about data governance and how using governed, trusted data is essential for creating business value for your enterprises. Now, today's session will have a first look at what is this business value and how it plays with the analytical world. We'll then understand how we can plan strategically in order to drive the business value with data governance. Then I'll have a look at a reality, what's the reality like, what are the different challenges and how we can overcome them. And then we'll have a look at how a platform, technology platform, can help as an accelerator to drive these business values. And we'll have a look at a few key takeaways. Now, data analytics is a key topic for every modern enterprise. It's no secret that adopting a data-driven strategy is essential to remain competitive. And it is even more true now that the pandemic has started. Yet, you look at these numbers on the screen, the number of unsuccessful programs is overwhelming. In fact, most of the enterprises are failing and are unable to leverage data and data analytics to impact truly the business. Now, the question is, why is it so difficult? And before I answer that question, why, I want to first have a look at what is the life cycle of a data in the analytical world. And if you have a look at this is a circle, and it starts by IT getting access to data. And then you will have technical people who will be exploring the data, they will be searching, they will be preparing, they will be creating models. These models will be accessed through reports, dashboards for business people to actually make decisions. And the data governance is the practice that is going to be the cement around all of these steps, and it should be present at each step of the way. Now, this is great, but the real value, the business value, is lying in only one of these steps, the decision step. And the question is, are you designing, when you create an analytical program or project, are you starting by defining what is going to be the business value that you're after? And then you create that circle? Or do you start from data exploration and then you end up with whatever you can, basically? Now, the real question is, do you know what value you're aiming for? And to determine that, you need to start thinking value and not thinking technology or data or project. You need to start thinking value. And the first step to define that value is define what is the business driver that you're after. And you need to ask yourself, what is that business driver that my executives or yourself are after? They typically fall into three families. It could be either reducing costs. For example, you would want to reduce redundant manual data processing, or maybe you want to increase your profits. And you could do that by enabling your business users to run reports and analytics on your customers' data to better understand them. Or you might want to reduce the risks by, for example, avoiding fines from the regulatory authorities. Now, once you have defined what is your main business driver, you'll be able to go one level down and define what are the actual use cases that are going to be serving that business driver. Now, by the way, you could have multiple drivers across the enterprise, but it's really recommended to start by the one that is most urgent. And by defining the best use case that you want to run after, you can start thinking strategically. Now, a good candidate for a use case has to be concrete, realistic, and have measurable benefits. Now, at first, you would probably determine a list of different applications or use cases that are impactful for your business. and you might want to select the one that is the quickest to implement and has the maximum impact on your business, what we call a quick win. Obviously, some use cases are industry specific and some are applicable to any kind of business. We see typically use cases in 4 families. The first one is insights and analytics. You might be wanting to reduce cost and time spent by user to find and access data, and that would be fueling self-service analytics. Smart metering in the energy sector is a good example, or marketing analysis in retail. The second kind of use cases is regulation. An example is enterprises in the financial services sector want to reduce risk exposure by putting in operation the central bank's regulation and avoid getting fines. Any kind of B2C company would be after GDPR or the local flavors in Jordan or in the Gulf to protect the customer data and avoid regulation fines. Another example, a family of use cases is what we call business enablement. You want to break the silos of data. You've got data everywhere, but you don't really know, what to do with it. Risk evaluation in the insurance is a good example where you could be using data from different places. And the last one, which is probably at the heart of everybody's strategies today, is digital transformation, and specifically cloud digital transformation. Now, most of the people in the room today are planning to go to the cloud. They've already gone to the cloud, maybe multiple clouds. And really, it's important to understand what you're doing, how you're moving your data, how it is moving, what kind of data you're moving. For example, somebody in the healthcare industry might want to be cautious about patients' data going to the cloud. Do you want to mask the data because it's sensitive, or are you controlling how the data is moving? Now, what's common with all these examples, and let's be very clear, it's the trust that you are building around your data. If your users, if your business is not trusting the data, they will not use it and they will not make any decision. And that's a good time, I think, to have a step back and look at the reality on the ground. Everything that I just shared is beautiful, it's perfect. Now, the reality is obviously really different. And there's a lot of things that most of us in the room would have encountered. Lack of automation is a big one. Misalignment between business and IT is another one. And my 2 favorites, personally, the lack of visibility and lack of sponsorship. Now, fortunately, these challenges can be avoided by putting a strong data governance practice in place. And one of the key aspects to succeed in this is to articulate your strategy around a platform or a technology solution which will act as an accelerator for your strategy. Now, if there's one thing that we have seen so far, and what you need to remember, is that there is no one size fits all when it comes to data governance and data analytics. And naturally, the technology should be supporting the strategy, your strategy, and not the other way around. It shouldn't be your strategy to adapt to the platform. And that's why you want to find a modular platform that will enable you to start your data journey wherever you are, and provide you the versatility to add new features or new components as your journey matures. So maybe you want to start by defining your business context, assign roles and responsibilities across the enterprise to different people who are playing a role with the data, business owners, data stewards, business analysts. And once you've done that, maybe you want to tag the technical assets, so scanning all your data assets across the enterprise, getting a view of all these data repositories. And you want to map these, so the business and the technical side of your data. Or maybe you want to do it the other way around. Maybe you want to start by first getting a technical understanding of where is your data, and then assign the ownerships and the policies around the data. And as your project is going to grow, you're going to build data integration pipeline with built-in data quality, which will inherit from the intelligence that you will have built with the cataloging and the governance definitions. And later down the line, you're going to maybe want to add a 360 degrees view of your customers using master data management, or maybe you want to assess your data protection risks, specifically in the case of regulations or the cloud. Now, you can only do that starting somewhere, going somewhere else, following your own path, if you have a platform that is modular which is sharing metadata across all of these components, and that has artificial intelligence built in to accelerate the rollouts of your initiatives. And this is how you will have a holistic management of your data across your enterprise. Now, here's a good example of how the solution, the technology solution, can boost your analytics by providing a self-service data access using a marketplace. So one of the key things is democratization of data. You want to make sure that people around you in the enterprise are able to access data and do things with that. Things could be reporting, could be machine learning, anything, but people need to have access to data. And using a marketplace is actually a good way of connecting all these different people to the data. Typically, a data owner who will be responsible for maintaining a data set and making sure it's of good quality will be able to create, publish that data set in the marketplace, and a data consumer who will be able to go and, just like you would do on Amazon or soup.a, search for data, customers' data. What kind of customers' data do I have across the enterprise? And they might want to understand what is good, what is bad, what kind of specifics each data set has. What is the community saying about it? Is it trusted or not? Is it usable or not? And once the data consumer has found the perfect data set and is ready to get access or request access to that data to build these reports, he will go through a checkout process, exactly the same as Amazon. He will say how he wants for the data to be delivered. He will provide justification. And if the request is approved, there will be tracking and a fulfillment process, giving the ability for people who are managing the data in the enterprise to track who has access to what data, potentially revoke access later. So this is really about making self-service analytics a reality in a controlled way and in a governed way. And Informatica is very well positioned to handle all of these use cases and all of these requirements, and is recognized as being a leader, or the clear leader actually by Gartner in 5 of the major quadrants that we operate in. Now, to conclude, 3 key takeaways from this session. First one, it is clear that data governance is essential for creating business value. Putting controls in how you use the data, putting an aim into how you're going to use the data through data governance is key for a project to succeed. The second one is thinking strategically. You need to understand where you're going before you can actually put that in action. And you can do that by using a platform such as the Intelligent Data Platform from Informatica to accelerate that journey and make sure this is a success. And with that, thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.